Check, 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 check. Let's see how the live feed sounds here. Oh, that's not close. Check, 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 check. Check. Check, check. Huh. Yep, there I am. Okay. Check, 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 check. Beep, 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 beep. I didn't hear the game audio when I tried that out. But I guess I can go ahead and just kind of let this go. Because it's just going to be a pretty standard stream. It's just going to be me checking out one of my favorite SEGA consoles, the Saturn. But I have no idea if the audio is coming through whatsoever, so I'm going to have to kind of rely on you viewers out there to make sure if this is actually working or not. In fact, why don't I just jump in the Sonic world here. Oh, is it that low? Yeah. Yeah, my audio setup's not great right now. Since my whole setup has just kind of been torn apart, put back together, torn apart, put back together, and then like all the pieces that I need are just all over the place right now. Let's try to jump off there. Oh, it's not real. Although, the top of that thing there, I never really noticed that there is like this texture on top. A little better for the audio. I'll try to crank it up some more. Yeah, as long as my baritone voice isn't overshadowed by this. Here's a good sound. Because Tails is super friggin' loud compared to like anything else in the game. In fact, that was kind of my favorite thing about Sonic R on the PC is that Tails' tails are, oh god, they're so loud compared to everything else. Right. So I've been trying to get some streams set up where we get some of the other retro folk in just to mess around, but I haven't had much of a chance to lock in a good time to get them to sit down and play games with me or something like that. And I don't really have like a set plan for this stream or anything like that. It's just, let's just play some of these old Saturn games that I got, since I never really had much of a chance to use anything that had good quality video capture. Yep. And unfortunately we didn't get Sonic Extreme, but we did get this. I almost forgot his teetering animation. I keep forgetting about that. Anyway, so we've already seen this game before, as well as like all the games that are inside the collection, so I just figured I should probably just try to play these different challenges that are in here. In fact, let's get the main one out of the way. So there's that button that lets you play all these different missions in the Sonic world, but then there's also this one. Give it a sec. That didn't work at all. Whoops. I forget how to do it, but it's basically like you get a 1-minute timer to go through the world, and There's not really a goal, although you can spend that time to go collect the rings. Why is that not working? It's like A and start, right? Or is it C and start? It is A and start. I don't know why that didn't work then. Unless I let go of the buttons too early. Yep, that was it. Alright. Yeah, for the longest time, I thought there was not really a way to actually accomplish this, but turns out it is doable to get 100 rings. It's just there's nothing you can get out of this mode. But you got a really tight window to do everything that you need to do. Hop up there, get these two, get down here. I have a pretty specific route that lets me get all 100 rings, but the real tricky part comes towards the end. Also, I'm using the 3D controller so that he doesn't waste time picking up speed. Oh. Alright. Coming down the wire. Oh, I didn't make it. 2 rings short. Oh well. It usually works for me, but it all depends on the timing. And also, since I don't have a way to split the video, I have to deal with input lag on the captured unit. Oh, up here. That was one of the things that I wanted to try to get, is just a way to split the video so that I can see, or get better control over the games. Oh gosh. So I think it was a tweet that I saw from Tracker that showed that this is just something that was left over when they were showing off the game at Tokyo Game Show. Oh, I think I'm too close again. Hey, there it is. But yeah, you get 100 rings, but this is just an endless mode. It was probably just a way to kick people off. Like, they'll give you just a small opportunity to just run around the level. Despite the fact that none of the rooms really work, but it's a pretty good way to demonstrate how the 3D stuff works. And then show, like, Sonic is able to interact with the scenery in different ways, which is pretty cool. It just makes you wish this was a real 3D Sonic game. We're not gonna go there. I don't feel good about that. Oh man, is that Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh boy, what's up, Sonic? Alright, we'll try the different mission modes that are in the Sonic Jam here. But basically, like, these all just kind of come in. Like, you do one mission, and you unlock the next one up until you get to 100 rings. And then that unlocks the giant ring that kind of looms over the waterfall over there in the corner of the museum area. And that just gives you the endgame credits. Already messing up. Look at that. And you hear that chime, that means you made it. Also, you can... probably can't really tell on the stream, but I keep forgetting there's a little sound that Sonic makes when his feet land on the ground. But it's really faint. You probably can't really tell. Oh! Unfortunately, that doesn't beat my time of less than 2 seconds. Tell you what, though. I'll try that 100 ring challenge. Although, the one benefit of using the 1 minute challenge is that everything resets, since everything's kind of on a specific timer. But now, I'm not exactly starting when there's like a... You know, not everything's going to reset in a very specific way for me, so it's going to be harder for me to time this. Although that's pretty close. Also, I don't want Tails to intercept me here. And I just kind of realized this time is not going to be that great, considering you get 100 rings, but you got to go back to that endpoint, and you have to make sure that Sonic can land on the button. I barely beat that record. But yeah, like, this is essentially the thing, more or less a prototype of what would eventually become Sonic Adventure. I'm sure, though, it's in, like, an interview that you can see on Sonic Retro's wiki. Also, check out this hole in the bridge. And yeah, when I was a kid, I was always kind of bummed out that you just had this big world, and then there's not, you know, once you do everything in it, that's kind of it. Try to get the cheat code cards. But I don't remember where they all are, so this will be fun. It's like there's some that sit behind these buildings. There's not one here, but there's one up here, I think. And you gotta jump on the trees, and it's always finicky. We're gonna pretend the movie theater doesn't exist right now. Alright, there's 6. I can't remember where number 7 is right now. There it is, and I fell off. Oh well. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and I do keep forgetting that there is one other function that is unlocked when you get all the missions done. Nothing special. It's just a fixed camera at like every point in the museum. And you'll notice every time you switch a camera, it will briefly take away control, which will be good because then that means you're not just immediately changing direction when the camera changes. But then you get into situations like this where it's like, just let me go. And of course, Sonic looks like a mess of pixels the further away he is from the camera, but I kind of liked at least just looking at it. Because like in Mario 64, you can set up the camera to be locked in place. And you can see how the game kind of loads in specific areas depending on where Mario is in the level. And that will like determine, you know, what area the level is loaded up, what enemies will be displayed at a time. Oh, I want that to stop already. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you do all the missions, you get the giant ring, but again, that just gives you credits. Of course, these are not the only challenges that are in Sonic Jam. And I guess word of caution is because of the way that this thing captures video. Since this is in a higher resolution mode, you get a lot of deinterlacing going on here, which I apologize. Let's see. Time attack. Yeah, I want to do time attack, and I want to go to Launch Base Act 2. Because the funny thing about the time attack mode in Sonic Jam is that since there's those different difficulty modes, it actually changes the layout of the levels. And for some reason, in time attack, all the levels are set in normal mode and not original. And then sometimes that just happens and it just kills your momentum. Let's try that again. And in case you haven't really checked out the Mega Drive games in Sonic Jam, that audio is not quite right. Oh boy. And yeah, there's also like you can play through all the different special stages in each game. And you get to see how lazy I get with my Sonic playing. Very lazy. Let's try it one more time. Again, because of the input lag I have to deal with, this is not as easy for me to check out. But it's easy for Sonic to get sucked into the scenery. That's cool. Boop. Oh, that works. Actually, that would be kind of useful to have. Ah. Because now I can dodge all the fire. But I can't break things like Knuckles can. And that stupid frog thing. Sweet. I've never had that happen before. That's the problem of going too fast with Sonic. Oh, go, 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 go. Oh yeah, no, yeah. All the Mega Drive games in Sonic Jam are, like, ported over. I was surprised to learn that there are some Mega Drive collections on the Saturn that are somehow emulated and gives proper sound playback. The Sonic games, however, do not have any proper sound playback, since all the music is also pre-recorded audio. Which is why when you pick up Speed Shoes, the music restarts briefly. I do kind of feel bad that I don't have my Sonic 3 cart anymore, but given how easy it is to kind of get this game in like all these different collections and different re-releases over the years, I kind of have a hard time trying to justify trying to just get a Sonic 3 cart. But that's all I'm missing. Well, that's not all I'm missing. And also, you get to kind of see my problem with time attack mode. The timer's still going. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. So you're stuck watching these cutscenes, and there's no way to skip them. And yes, Sonic 3 Air does away with a lot of this stuff, especially in like the time attack mode. Like if you play Angel Island Act 1, when like it takes out like all the mini bosses, it takes out most of the cutscenes. It'll keep in parts where it'll like transition between different tile sets, but then that's it. It also like gives you the option of playing the original layouts plus revised ones that kind of makes things less tedious. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. And then the stupid spike ball that's circling him. There. Oh man, let's see if I can fight this boss with the input lag. I forgot about this. But one thing I kind of learned over time is with Sonic by himself, there's actually a few more ways to damage the boss. Nope. There we go. Yeah. His Insta Shield is extremely useful, to the point that I think people kind of underestimate how it works sometimes. I love that high-risk reward move. And even though the timer stopped, and the HUD is disappearing behind the platform, I don't know. I guess we'll just watch this until we get to see the leaderboard. I think this is a slower time though than what I've already made. Oh yeah. Yeah, temporary invincibility also really helps fighting Sonic bosses. This almost sounds euphoric. And it also sounds like such a clash considering like the direction that Sonic music took. In fact, speaking of temporary invincibility, let's try this. Because that was the last stage in Sonic 3. Wonder what happens if you do the last stage in Sonic 2 in Time Attack. There we go. All these records are under a minute, and you'll see why very quickly. Since, like I said, you're stuck in normal mode in Time Attack, which means you get rings. Which makes these fights a lot easier. Although, this one's still pretty fast. Just due to the fact that you can kind of abuse the fact. Silver... I think it's Silver Sonic? Until he touches down, he has no collision. Whoop. Hit him in the butt. And then somehow that jetpack does not have collision, which I did not know about for the longest time. Whoops. Oh well. You can just keep smacking yourself with that. Get launched into your ring. And then... But yeah, if you can find a way to get like a shield or rings, it just makes that fight so easy. And of course, I did not beat any of the records for Death Egg, so whoops. Although I will say, like, the way that these games behave, like the way that they play, are pretty much exactly the same as you would expect them to. So, like, the multiplayer modes in, like, Sonic 2 still render at a higher resolution, but the two-player mode in Sonic 3 does not. In fact, I wanted to go to Time Attack here with Balloon Park, because apparently people didn't realize that Tails is actually really fast at Balloon Park. Like, the difficulty modes don't do anything to competition mode in Sonic 3, which is fine. Oh boy. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, so those balloons with tails are very key. And also, it's press B to go back. There's no option in the menu to, like, restart back to that menu. But, like, sometimes I like to jump here to, like, jam myself through. Oh, yeah, I forgot the lag. If you fly on it, it'll just launch you up, so you don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. Just hang left, and then jump off when you hit that, part of the ceiling. And then sometimes you can just jump to jam yourself down the hole. Sometimes it clips you under the platform. And I'm already away from my record at this point. Oh, man. I want to try that one more time. Oh boy, there we go. And of course, if you don't hit that, then it's slow. What are you doing? Start over. Because with the other characters, you still have to, like, bounce up to, like, the second balloon, and it just wastes time. But again, because of this stupid TV lag. Well, not the TV, it's the capture unit. Makes it hard to judge where everything is. Oh, that's way worse. Oh yeah, no, there is the other cheat where it's like you can basically, like, get the thing done in like 3 seconds, but come on, that's not going through the level legit. Oh wait, I can't even quit the game until I just jump in a level. Alright. But yeah, like I was talking to Teapot a while ago, and kind of letting him know that, hey, there's totally a way you can do that level way faster with Tails. Oops. I'm gonna try a Time Attack level for Sonic 1. But yeah, like, there's some that I haven't even bothered with because sometimes it's just so slow. But yeah, like these here. I'm sure Teapot's still over, like, Sonic Fan Games HQ, but I stopped doing moderation work for them. So I haven't really been able to pay attention. But also, I've just been too dang busy. So I don't have a good way to really keep up with all the goings-on. But I got to, like, talk with them for a bit, because Neohazard wants to do that Fightcade thing. And it looks like they got that set up, where you just do the 2-player competition mode in Sonic 3. Oh god. Luckily, that's the end. I like how it gives you the bad-sounding music when you actually place on the leaderboard, but you're not in first. Oh wait, is there a record for Final Zone? Not really. But it's kind of the same deal here, because in the original, there were no rings. But of course, they put some here just for you, despite the fact you can still get pinched or crushed. But you can also, like, spin dash in Sonic 1 now, which can go one way or another. It makes it easier to dodge that stuff. I think in normal mode you can, oh god, you don't have to deal as many hits to the boss as you do in the regular game. Oh, still not trying to read the chat. Oh well. Anyway, you get the idea for that. But the part that kind of threw me off, because in Sonic 1 you can do the spin dash thing, there were some parts in the levels that actually break if you use something that's like the spin dash. One other thing I noticed also, because there's like the re-releases of Sonic 1 on the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch. M2 added the spin dash to those versions of the game, but if something runs into you and you're in this state for the spin dash, you take damage. So if a Motobug just kind of rams into you as awkwardly as it does, you just take damage. Luckily, in this game, it doesn't have that problem. I'm just going to restart because I didn't get a record anyway. But in this one, let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So, okay, so they fixed that there too. That's crazy. So also in the M2 re-releases of Sonic 1, if you spin dash right next to a monitor, you can't do anything to it. You can't go past it. There we go. Somehow I'm able to get through this stuff pretty easily, which is nice. Yes, these are the HD Retrovision cables, so that's why the picture looks so good. Yeah, it may sound like baby's first spin dash, but sadly that's kind of the only option you get with those Sonic 1 re-releases. Oh yeah, in terms of like the extra game modes for Time Attack and the special stage, they only work for Sonic 2 and Knuckles. So when you play Time Attack in Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, you play as Sonic. And in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, you play Sonic with Tails. But in the case of this game, for some reason this is the only way you can play as Knuckles in the Time Attack modes. And I'm not sure why it's like that, but it is. Also, Sonic 2 has way more slowdown in Sonic Jam compared to the other games, which is weird. Luckily, with our good buddy Knuckles, we can just skip half the level doing that. And also, luckily, since this is not the Retro engine, you're not going to get pinched by those blocks. Which, those remakes are really cool. I just wish they kind of got that part fixed, but it ain't going to happen. That's alright. They're still really good versions of the game, though. Because it kind of modernizes everything about Sonic. And kind of makes them in line with, like, all the other, like, releases of Sonic 3. That's a great play. The capture unit that I'm using is the USB 3 HD cap, which, this is branded StarTech, but apparently these are just rebranded Micom Soft capture gear. So that also allows for composite S-Video component, VGA, DVI, and HDMI all in one box, and it's been pretty good. Although the support for it to kind of get everything set up has been a real pain in the ass. Especially if you don't have enough power going to your USB device. Like sometimes I run into that problem. Then you run into issues where it just won't power on at all, or it won't send enough data to actually funnel through to OBS, which is what I'm using for capture here. Let's see. I think that's kind of all there is to kind of show off that's extra in Sonic Jam that I haven't really been able to show off before. So let's check out another Sonic classic on the Saturn. And I got some bad news. I don't own Sonic R on the Saturn, so it's not going to be that one. The other problem with this capture unit here is that it's not officially supported by OBS, so you've got some trickery and hoops you got to jump through in order for this to work correctly. Oh yeah, there's no SCART for with this unit. But assuming like the other EasyCap devices also don't really get any kind of SCART options, unless there's like some kind of SCART to component or at least SCART to HDMI, which I do want to try to get like something like a RetroTink, which will help with the 480i consoles, because as you've kind of seen, I don't have too many options with interlace content. Also, look at the power of the Duck Corporation with a sweet MPEG video. And I'm sure with these HD Retrovision cables, there's kind of a loss in quality and sharpness. I mean, I don't know the full workings of how these cables work, but it is converting basically an RGB signal for it to work in component. But since this is a low-resolution console, this is outputting 240p, and that's part of the reason why I picked up this unit, because it can do 240p, although it's bumping it up to 480, 480i, or at least some kind of 40p kind of signal. I'll put on the cheat code. See and start just unlocks all the cheats in the game, which lets you skip to the end if you want. I was doing some tweets yesterday just to kind of like do something with my capture gear, and also like there's some cool effects that are in this version that people are not really gonna be able to see since it's not common, and they don't re-release this version in compared to like what they do with the Mega Drive one. And then the Windows 95 version is similar to this, except for the special stages, and it's missing a bunch of effects. And I gotta say, I kind of miss this 3D aesthetic that you don't really get to see in games anymore. Like, I kind of feel like indie developers should try to go for this kind of rounded nature of the this kind of graphical style, but you know, we've just now been getting to like low poly 3D kind of stuff. Also, just kind of as a quick reminder, like I'm using the 3D controller, you know, the Knights controller basically, which means you can use the control stick to move around, but in the main game that doesn't really mean a whole lot because you're only stuck to the 8 directions. So you want to switch to the D-pad during this time because it's just much easier to control the game this way. And if you've seen this game before, it's probably because we did this. I had this playing in the background when we were doing the 25th anniversary post-mortem stream. But that was at a time where the capture gear was not good. I was just using S-Video, and it didn't have this kind of frame rate. It didn't look nearly as sharp as it does with this setup that I got right now. Like, S-Video could probably look pretty similar to this on this capture unit, but the last capture device I had, which I forget what that was, but when it comes to like low-res content, it was awful. Yes, the USB 3 HD cap was expensive, like it was $200, and the only reason I was able to justify it was people who came to watch this channel. Like, oh, is something wrong with the audio? Did it go up, or is it just crackly? I don't have a good way to check what's going on with the audio, but I'm going to try to play this special stage here. But yeah, just in case, oh yeah, if there's something wrong with the audio on, like, the microphone, that might just be that this headset is just in bad shape. Oh, the pitch goes higher with the audio. That's, like, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like the game, like, the capture stuff I got going on right now is fine. But, I'll check the stream in a little bit. But, in the meantime, you want to use the 3D controller for this, because if you just hold a direction, Sonic will align himself to what you point to. So I can, like, hold right, he'll go right. He'll try to stay up, or at least he'll try to match it if I hold up, but obviously he can't quite just run on the top of the pipe here. It could also be, like, the streaming issue might be because I'm using a restream. So people who are watching on Twitch may not be aware that there's a stream going on YouTube as well. It's the exact same stream, but it just lets me reach a wider audience this way. But yeah, like, I like the special stage stuff in 3D Blast here on Saturn, because you roll down this hill, you gain speed, and you can just jump out of it, hit this booster, spin, you get that extra speed, which makes it easier to get extra rings from those portals. You might be missing out on some chat. That's one of the things I want to try to work on, but, you know, I do apologize about that, but, you know, I do want to try and find a better solution for that, because it's like, I kind of don't like it when there's, like, a chat log on the video, because I feel like that kind of dates it, and also kind of makes it vulnerable to vandalism, question mark. Although, some real talk, if y'all hop over to the Twitch chat, there's nothing specifically going on there, but it would help me get affiliate status for the channel, which, apparently I need to have 3 people going, you know, watching the stream at a time on Twitch, and that will get me to partner status. And of course the other thing is, like, streaming for, like, up to 8 hours, and then I forget what the other requirement is. Oh, like, stream for, like, 7 days, in a, not in a row, but in a 30-day period, stream for 7 days. The frame rate's gone down. Or has it? I have no idea. Like, sometimes OBS just acts up, and it's just because it's having a hard time trying to process this image that's going on. And then for some reason, like, I need to do some upgrades to this computer because it needs an SSD for the hard drive. I got shot. Because otherwise I'm running into, like, some CPU bottleneck issues, which makes no sense, but I'm sure part of that has to do with the fact that Windows is running on a very old hard drive, and this is a Windows 10 machine here. Also, I didn't really focus on this during the live tweeting last time that I was doing this yesterday, but I love these sick bridges. And yes, I know I wasted shoes. But yeah, I like the little touches that were added to the Saturn version of 3D Blast. I still don't think too highly of this game because I think it's way too easy. And you can tell the developers were already having a hard enough time just to make sure that this game actually runs. It's playable, basically. Because this is a Mega Drive game, and they quickly ported this over because Sonic Extreme was already running into development issues. And yeah, like, both Twitch and YouTube have actually implemented a chat relay where it'll just kind of keep the history of the chat. I think it also depends on, at least for YouTube, it seems like it also depends on like how many people are in a chat at a time. Like if it's just like one person, it may not keep track of it. I guess it's hard. I think the reason why people would think it's hard is because you already have a limited amount of view space, and that already makes it hard to judge whatever's coming up. But like they did everything that they could to make it as easy as possible. Ironically, I think all the hard enemies in the game are in the first zone, because after this, they're like pretty easy to deal with. So like that spike ball there is pretty annoying to deal with. But then you get like this guy. Like he has nothing. He'll start chasing you if you aggro him. But what you can do if you have a hard time jumping on him, just hold the spin dash button and you can just roll around like this. And that's enough to just take care of like 90% of the enemies. There's these things. But yeah, just spin your way through. And then that's gonna take care of like most of the enemies in the game. But yeah, because like lining up your jumps is the worst thing. It's really hard to judge depth, especially since you're stuck with 8 directions. And like I said, the 3D analog pad on Saturn... Whoops, I'm missing one. There he is. You only move in 8 directions with a control stick. So it's just like playing 3D Blast with like a GameCube controller or something like that. Alright, let's see if I can get some rang. I'm gonna set that off. There's some graphical oddities in this level that I might want to try to point out when we get further down. Also, I definitely appreciate it, Lena Bro, for switching over to the Twitch chat. Like, normally I wouldn't care whatever source of video people use, but it's just a matter of, like, I've been doing this streaming thing for a long time, and whatever I can do to kind of get some perks set up for the channels, that would definitely help me out in the long run. And that's part of the reason why I haven't really streamed that often. Because it's a real time commitment to do these streams, but I like doing them. Oh god. So the weird thing about the special stages here, since there's like those suspended platforms, and your control stick aligns Sonic wherever you point him at, instead of like tapping left and right, the suspended platforms don't really make any sense to me, but they're always, I guess they're always this kind of center, so you can just hold down and you'll be fine. So I'm going to switch to the D-pad real quick. Oh, what's up? That's our boy Gene right there. What's up, man? But yeah, this is a D-pad right here. He slides. It's not the easiest to do compared to the control stick, which I'll switch back to here. Yeah, those. See those? Where do I hold the control stick for that to make sense? Also, reverb. Ah! Luckily, the special stages in 3D Blast on Saturn are pretty easy as well. Oh yeah, Team Sonic Racing stream. I shall definitely look into that. Also check out these debug buttons that I forgot to show off. For some reason, in the special stage, when you get the animation where you collect the emerald, you can hit the X and Z buttons, and it will like position the camera towards Sonic with the X button, or the Chaos Emerald with the Z button. That's probably more evidence that this is a very rushed port, because I guess there wasn't really a whole lot of work for the developers to do, but then you hear like some of the stories of like how they had to get this out for holidays because, you know, there wasn't a proper Sonic game on the Saturn at this point, and this is kind of all we got for like a actual Sonic adventure. Because other than that, it's a game collection and a racing game. And I don't want to die. Okay. But yeah, since I have the cheats on, I think if I pause, I can hit the X button, and it gets me another medal or something like that. Z gives me all the emeralds. I forget what Y does. And I don't want to hit the A, B, or C buttons, because that skips levels. But yeah, when it immediately unpauses, that means I activated some kind of cheat. Also, let's take a break to appreciate this this map, which is not in any other version of the game except for Windows 95. So even with the director's cut, it doesn't have the benefit of giving you a full-on map, which is unfortunate because it also points out where there's any loose flickies, which is very nice to have. The director's cut does make it easier to find the flickies if you do lose them. But again, it's not quite a substitute for having a full-on map. Also, there's a box here. Let's see here. So Tails is over here. I skipped Tails in the last one, because if you do the special stage again, it's just going to give you an extra life. So I guess I'll just show that off here. Why not? I see that Sonic person on the tube again. Give him another what's up. Yeah, different transition with Tails, which is kind of neat. Turn on that control stick. I don't know why Sonic wiggles like that. But here we are. I'll just speed that up. Oh, that's right. It's a juke. You gotta... I think, if I recall correctly, this is developed by SEGA Japan, which is why I feel like this looks so different compared to the rest of 3D Blast. I think it's just like one other reason to like get people to buy this game on the Saturn, because it is very much the same as the Genesis game. Oh gosh. Also, if you're going up on a pipe slope there, you can't curl into a ball because there's not enough speed. Oh. Oh boy. Whatever. Let's see if I can show off those debug keys again. Yep. So there's no emerald, but I can switch to Sonic here. And of course, if you when you hit those buttons, it'll stop the camera rotation. But yeah, just quickly reading the chat with "That's good, Jason." I don't think John Burton was really too involved with the Saturn version, but as you may have seen in his top 10 facts video, he talks about how I believe it's using a C interpreter, or no, excuse me, I'll be the way. I think it's the other way around. Well, it's basically like it's assembly code being run through a C interpreter. So it will basically take the assembly code, turn it into C code, and then Saturn kind of just layers on top of what's already here. Which is kind of funny because the Saturn already does have a 6800 processor, and there was very strong evidence that there was going to be backwards compatibility with Mega Drive and Genesis games. But that kind of did not come to be. And I'm wondering if I can see, if we go through here, you may not, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks flickery, which kind of indicates that there's a very slight transparency that shows where the player is behind the walls, which is not really on the Mega Drive version. Okay, yeah, you might be able to see it there since I got the shield on. Very strange. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. I don't want that shield, that sucks. Also, hey, it's the homing attack, or, well, in this game, I think it's the blast attack. Oh, there we go. There's one of the weird oddities. There's a weird layering problem over here. Oh well. You'll kind of see some other odd layering issues, and I think it's just due to like how the tiles work in this game. Oh, come on, Flicky. But yeah, like, there we go. I always kind of wondered how it would do, like, object sorting with this game, because I've been working on a game that deals with a similar kind of situation here, where you have, like, these different tiled surfaces, and then you got to make sure that your character can hide behind, walls and other objects based on their position in the level. And it's actually a very simple math calculation that just kind of sorts based on your X and Y position. I'll see if I can get through another path that's kind of hidden away that people may not know or kind of forgotten about. Because there was one in Regal Ruin, which is the next level, where I was trying to remember if there was like any walls that I could go and destroy, and there is. I just I just couldn't remember where it was, but it was hiding away Knuckles, or was it Tails? Like one of the characters to go to the special stage. It's no good if you can't get 2 hits in at least. I think you can do 3, but... oh, well. Luckily... oh, shoot, I forgot to show off. Because when you pause the game in the boss levels, there's a different pause screen. Because there's no need for a map. Also, shoutouts to the 8 viewers that are watching the stream on both Twitch and YouTube, which, that's cool. It makes me feel good that the streaming stuff is actually kind of working out. Because it's like, I have no idea, like, what would make for a good stream. Also, I've always been wanting to do, like, shorter video content, but it takes up a lot of time to actually get right. Also, extra life. Like, like, one of the big things I wanted to do was find a way to get, like, direct video capture, because, you know, this is tied to, like, Sonic Retro, SEGA Retro, and, of course, SEGAbits. So, part of one of the things I wanted to get right for this channel was we need real video footage, because, in a way, this should be something that should be archived, and there are, like, there's other outlets like Jeremy Parrish, like he does his NES Works, SNES Works, and Game Boy Works, and more recently the Virtual Boy Works, which is half done because there's not that many Virtual Boy games out in the wild. But yeah, I forgot to talk about the enemies here. But anyway, like, he's got the whole RGB setup for his YouTube channel. So, like, he gets, like, direct video capture, and it's, like, as sharp as possible, it's as clean as possible, and it's the exact experience you would get if you were to play these games with real hardware, and that's pretty much what I wanted to do. Like, this is not the best way to capture video from these consoles, but it looks good. Oh, yeah. Show off stuff like elevator action returns. I would if I had that. Unfortunately, I don't. I tried to focus on getting as many American Saturn games as I could. So that's kind of all I got. And sadly, I don't have access to all my Saturn stuff right now. But I have access to some of it, and I could always go back to said library and get them here. Because, again, it's also a case of, like, I want to use, you know, the real game discs. Like, this is an actual copy I got from David the Lurker, actually. He was kind enough to help me get this game in a trade, because you're spending $50+ for a complete US copy of 3D Blast, and that's insane. Absolutely insane. Well, even in Japan, like, elevator action returns is pretty expensive. Also, there goes the sick transparent fog effect that is not in any other version of the game. Probably not a good idea to bring this flicky over here. Especially since when objects go off screen, they stop working. But if you cut back to them, like, they become active again, and those hazy fire shoots will just kind of get in your way. But yeah, if you want to play these games, don't feel bad. Go get a mod chip if you have to. Like, obviously there's, like, region protection stuff you can bypass, or there's, like, was it the Phoebe? There's, like, an SD card solution that lets you replace the disk drive. And it works with the majority of the Saturn library, and that's something I definitely want to try to get into, since these are, like, 1x CD-ROM drives that are probably going to die in the next decade. Or something like that. Because as far as I've seen, there's no bit rot going on with these discs, which is very nice. Oh boy. Look at that. He's got the run animation. Isn't it? He runs just like he does in Sonic Adventure. It's sick. But yeah, David the Lurker helped me get this game. I just gave him, I think it was 1 or 2 issues of Archie Sonic that he was missing that was also kind of expensive. Because I have zero interest in the Archie Sonic series. I didn't jump. Yeah, 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 yeah. Also, the trick of those boosts is you go through it, then you hit the spin button, and that lets you get the most speed out of those uh, those boost panels, basically. But yeah, that's part of the reason why I don't have a complete copy of Sonic R. Oh, switch those buttons. Look at that. I don't know why it's like that. I've never seen that documented anywhere, so that was weird that it's there. But then again, I don't think this version is that popular for people to play these days. Oh yeah, there might be somebody who's working on a flash cart for the daughterboard bay. Oh man, Gene's got that Sonic R. I got to play the Saturn version of Sonic R at E3 because they had like some kind of museum setup going on there, which was kind of neat. Uh, Also, happy late birthday, Gene. I forget when your birthday is. I feel bad. It's not like I'm able to really celebrate anybody's birthday these days, anyway. All the way March. Man, my birthday's coming up. It's on the 20th. Happy birthday, Xbox. I don't remember. Oh yeah, so like the thing about these enemies, like this is all this one does. He just moves back and forth, and again, you can spin dash him, or you can just hold the B button. I think I got hit because I lost speed. If you lose too much speed, you're more liable to take damage. Of course, it doesn't protect the birds if you do the spin move, so there's some penalty for doing that. I think this mouse makes a noise in the PC version, but it doesn't here. Also, it's kind of hard to see, but that's the benefit of Saturn. But yeah, this flame shield protects you from these, which is nice. Also, check out these panels. They're not in the Genesis version. They're cool. There are a lot of them. Some of them are like loose. It's a really nice effect. But yeah, also this B, he just kind of moves in a somewhat random pattern. But if you're spinning, you're winning. Doesn't matter. Another back and forth crocodile. I got one more section here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the crew kind of drifted apart. Also, real life just kind of sucks and gets in the way. Why did that happen? Okay. Okay, so that secret wall I was talking about is coming up. I'm going to see if I can get it to work with me spinning around, but... because if this doesn't work, it's just going to make it take longer. Okay, I thought there was a geyser there, but no. Here we go. So there's Knuckles. How do we get to him? Well, unfortunately... first, I'm going to take these guys out. Bam. So this wall, you may not look like it, but you can break it. But then you got to break these with the spin ability. So we got to go back, and the spin ability doesn't work on that wall, so you got to go all the way over here, spin up, and keep spinning, and then you can finally break these. But we've already got the emerald for this level, so why are we here? No other reason, but it's a nice second chance if you need it. Whoa. Oh, soundtrack debate. I don't know. I like both of them. I'm not going to say which one's better than the other. I mean, y'all can talk amongst that yourselves about which one's better, but I guess I will say, like, when I first played 3D Blast, I played the demo version that was on SEGA Channel, and I remember not liking it. And then I got the Saturn version for a present because it was cheap, and Saturn games were, like, kind of dying, and I didn't have that many games for the Saturn because I kept renting stuff for my Nintendo 64 because it kind of had the games I wanted on it, and I kind of feel bad because I missed out on a lot of really cool Saturn games. Like I remember wanting Saturn Bomberman for the longest time because it's like, oh man, I like that soundtrack, and you can play with up to 10 people. I'll never have that many friends. Let's see. But yeah, like, I think this is my favorite song in the game right here. It's just nice and moody. I will say, I always felt like Saturn music was kind of weird. Also, I hate to break this tone, but, well, there it is. Funny enough, on PC, the Extra Life sound jingle is different there again. I mean, it's the same song, but it uses different instruments? It's weird. Like, that's using... Clearly, that's using the Saturn hardware for audio. And I guess they couldn't really replicate that on PC, so they just use a music synthesizer... Not a synthesizer, but a composition software just to make a new jingle for it. And it's like, yep, that works. Also, I always feel like this spring here makes this platform completely useless, but they needed to indicate you can get over here, but that's too slow. So we're just going to bring this spring here and we'll reward you for using it. What are we doing? 9 medals, so 2 more and I get it to continue. Not that it matters, because this game's easy. I do remember getting kind of bugged by the fog, because it does make it really hard to see. I could get those shoes, but then we'd have to interrupt the song. Also, those flicky statues. Oh, the breakdown. Oh no, you stupid jingle. That reset the entire song. Alright, anyway. So, yeah, like... When I originally owned the Saturn, it was the 3 Sonic games that I got. And then... my dad also got me Daytona USA. I remember liking the music in it a lot, but also the game was really difficult to control. And I also got Earthworm Jim 2, and I think that was kind of it for back in the day. Like, I had like just 5 Saturn games, and I rented the rest. I rented Clockwork Knight, and Bug, I just remember not feeling too hot about those games. Because especially when I was obsessed with Mario Kart 64, because Super Mario Kart was my favorite game when I was really young. And I'm like, oh man, they made a 3D version of that with 4 people playing at the same time. And it's a shame because, you know, like these days, like there's plenty of other games on the Saturn that I'm pretty happy to have. Obviously, like Saturn Bomberman, Burning Rangers, and I did initially dislike Knights when when I was renting that, which is why I didn't get it, or the 3D pad. And I think the reason why it was that you just start playing the game and you have no idea what you're doing. Like, who is this in the pod? Why am I this kid? This kid's so slow. Why is this jester flying thing? What? Why is this thing just work in like this weird 2.5D plane? What's going on here? Luckily, I gave that game a second chance, and I actually like it now. It's a good. Let's talk Carl Jung for like 5 minutes. There we go. I hardly see this animation for some reason. But yeah, that 3D analog pad makes that section so much easier to deal with, because you could just slowly slide left and right, and you don't have to account for any kind of weird drift that's going on. That's probably my only real problem with this 3D special stage. And oddly enough, future Sonic games don't do this. Like, Sonic 4 Episode 2 doesn't let you hold a control stick in a direction to, like, align yourself on the pipe area. It's weird. Oh, man. I kind of feel like I'm just going to play the rest of 3D Blast, even though I have already done it on this channel before, but I wasn't really talking about the game. Of course, the other problem you might have noticed with this version is these load times are really slow, which is part of the reason why it's really hard to go back to this game, especially in this day and age. Like, I think this is actually kind of worse than Sonic 06, because when you die, you also get this loading screen. And Sonic 06 doesn't do that. Like, you die, you're immediately back in the level. This is just taking its sweet-ass time. Alright, switch it back over. Oh boy. Yeah, I also feel like when these 3D consoles started popping up was when I was kind of missing out on, like, some other games. Like, I was obviously very against Sony because I was the Nintendo and Sega kid. Like, Nintendo and Sega were the ones that would do me no wrong, and then, boy, did they fall by the wayside after the PlayStation came out. I mean, it's either long load times or ads. Of course, I can't really put any money into this console to speed up the CD drive or anything like that. Yeah, I think I'll try to go ahead and just kind of keep playing 3D Blast here since we're already this far. But I don't know, like, I kind of, like, when I play 3D Blast, I guess it's just quick enough, especially if you know where everything is, that it doesn't feel terribly tedious. Especially if you know how to do those skill shots like that. Be the pro gamer. Get all the rings. Ah. Oh yeah, I haven't seen the load times in Albert Odyssey. I'm trying to think, because it's like in my head, I'm kind of thinking like, man, there are ways that they could speed up the process of, you know, like you go through the tally screen. Like, why not just have the game load there, or something like that? But nah, it's too late now. Get your money back. At least we also get to appreciate more of these little touches they added to the Saturn version. Trying to find that Robotnik sign. There we go. You get to see Robotnik kind of flex his ego even more than you ever could. Look, there's balloons with his face on him. Whatever those spinning things were. It's just too bad for the main game they did not add anything in particular that changes the gameplay. It's just mostly quality of life improvements. I'm sure they didn't want to deviate too far from like the Mega Drive version. I guess also kind of worth noting, this is the version of 3D Blast that Japan got, since the Mega Drive version never officially came out over there. Obviously, like, game collections changed that. Like, the GameCube collection was the first time you could play that version of the game in Japan. But it actually came out around the time Sonic Adventure was coming out. It actually came out, I believe it was after Sonic Adventure, or just before it. So the artwork that they made for the game was very Sonic Adventure-esque. Which always blew my mind. Like, even looking at Sonic Jam, which has, like, all the different stuff there. Like, showing different box arts from different regions. I just got confused. Also, I guess it's kind of interesting that I was a little more aware of games coming from Japan in the mid to late 90s. I am going to read your mind, or am I going to read the chat? I don't know, you figure it out. Maybe it's stream delay and you don't know it. That's how that engagement works, isn't it? Also drives me nuts that the spikes, all the spikes in the level will change if you're landing on top of it. Alright, Tails, you dirtbag. Ah, crap. I just gave him all my rings and now I can't go back. Or can I go back? I can't remember right now. Oh well. I do kind of appreciate this confusing nature of Spring Stadium. Like, it's basically the carnival level, or the casino level. Oh, I think Knuckles is over here. Yep, there he is. So I'm trying to remember, chat, because Richard Jakes is obviously he's the composer of the Saturn version. I think to kind of tie into the short development cycle, I think wasn't there an interview that basically said like he had 2 weeks to do the entire soundtrack, or am I not remembering that right? But I recall him talking about how he had such a small time frame to actually get the soundtrack working, not working, but basically composed for this game in particular. But then again, considering like Jun Sonoe, uh, he just composes music and then will just kind of throw in music wherever appropriate in whatever project he's working on, if he has to do something in a short time frame, which is so crazy. Since, there's the soundtrack crossover with 3D Blast on Genesis and Sonic Adventure, which is probably why Sonic Adventure uses the music from 3D Blast in the first place, because, I should have jumped, oh well. Also, I think we've already seen this level. Oh, Sonic, come on, buddy. But yeah, I suppose if a game's not going to come out within, your Japan, which is going to be your main region, I guess that makes sense. Oh boy. I think I'm not that familiar with this layout. Oh boy. Huh. So those boosters, the one problem I do have with like the 3D controller, if you're holding a direction on the stick and you go through a booster and it's trying to push you in a certain direction, you can basically negate that by just keeping a hold, keeping down the direction that you're going in. So it kind of kills that momentum that the game is trying to force you into. Which probably means that the 3D controls are kind of an afterthought. Maybe? Oh yeah, that demo, the music demo cassette that he had. I think he revealed as much as he's able to, because in the top 10 facts he reveals that it's another song from that eventually made it into Sonic Adventure. I forget which one it is right now. I think it's the theme, the second part of Twinkle Park. Because there's the first part, that's the intro to the Genesis version of 3D Blast. And then the second part, which was used for the actual park of Twinkle Park itself. But as for like the actual demo music, we're probably not going to hear that since it didn't really make its way out to the public. And I'm sure Sega's not too plussed with that being out there in the first place. I have no idea. Do I have 4 with me? No. There he is. Stupid green ones. The red ones hop away from you, and then the green ones run away from you. Alright, you, come here. Oh boy. There we go. I guess that's kind of my other thing about 3D Blast. I mean, it's kind of the rule for all Sonic games, really, is with a D-pad game, just feather your touch, just tap, 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 and then he'll move slowly, and it makes it easier to kind of explore through levels and navigate around different hazards and obstacles. Right, so they did. They wanted him to kind of respond back after that initial tweet, but he might have gotten busy since he has Antstream to work with, and also he's been doing movie production at Warner Brothers since he's a consultant on the Lego Movie since he's basically the video game Lego man, the video game Lego guru, as it were. Uh, since Traveler's Tales does pretty much nothing but develop Lego games. No more Haven Call the Kings. But I'm not sure if, like, the audio that's on the tape is going to be, like, the Yamaha synth from the Mega Drive. It's probably something like you could be using, like, some synthesizer to just make, like, very basic demo tracks. It's not quite... Usually demo tracks are not quite going to be like that. In fact, I think there are demo tapes for, like, Sonic and Knuckles music from Howard Drawson that are floating out there. And those definitely do not use the Yamaha synth. Because I think they're just kind of... I forget all the music terms, but I think they're just kind of getting a feel for how the music should sound. And obviously when they actually get to the process of putting it on the Mega Drive, it's going to sound different. Or if you think about, like, the Jetsons song, which very obviously is Ice Cap Zone, that definitely is not using anything remotely close to what a Mega Drive could do. Oh boy, here they are together. Except I got this stupid shield on. I think this is Emerald 6 if I get it right. I'm also going to try to clean up the screen here so that it's a little easier for me to see stuff. And of course, there's no Supersonic in any version of 3D Blast, officially released anyway. There we go. There we go. Those booster pads that are at an angle are the hardest to hit, I think. And also, if I had a D-pad, if I was using the D-pad during that section, that would have been terrible. Luckily, that's not the case here. I see the Red Scout in the YouTube chat. What's up? Yeah, I think we're just going to play the rest of 3D Blast, aren't we? Since we're already gone this far. I was trying to think of, like, putting on, like, one of the shooters, but... Oh, God. That wasn't me, that was the game. Oh, was I going to do that thing? No, okay. There's, like, one suspended platform that acts really oddly for me. But I think I actually passed it up. There we go. Also been trying to think of, like, at least in regards to, like, different Sonic games that didn't come out, besides, like, Extreme. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, what else was supposed to come out on the Saturn. Because I'm pretty sure Sonic the Fighters was at least plan to get some kind of console port. But I think M2 was just way too busy, like, porting, like, everything else to the Saturn, that they just didn't have time to do that, among other concerns. Oh yeah, and there, like, I think the special stages in 3D Blast here was supposed to have, like, that pool table minigame, where you just play pool, but it's Sonic. There we go. I lost the shield, but that was one of David the Lurker's favorite moments when he was a kid, is just get all three of them posed together. Oh man, the triple threat right there. But they're in 3D, but not really. Uh-oh. I thought I was gonna die. In the PC version, I think if you can just keep... No, okay. I was trying to remember if it was either... Which version was it that you could just get emeralds no matter what? But I think in... I could have sworn there was at least one where you could just get emeralds when you just hit up Knuckles and Tails in one level. And just keep doing that and get the 7 emeralds as quickly as possible. I'm never gonna let this song play, am I? Which I think is like a really weird song for a Sonic game, but hey. It kind of goes with the idea of it being a theme park, I suppose. Oh, yeah. I remember them making, like, a really big push for Virtua Fighter 3. At least for when it comes to, like, around the Saturn era. Because they were, like, giving away, like, a VF3 arcade cabinet if you participated in a contest. And then the Saturn kind of fizzled out. And then the Dreamcast was around, and they were still giving you that ad, or that contest flyer, to get a VF3 arcade cabinet. Whoops. There we go. Oh, this section, I hate it. And then the stupid red flicky. And then there's the girl flicky. Oh, man. Like, this section is the worst. I'm just gonna hope to see if all the flickies will make it over here or something. Let's see. Nope, they're all gonna go away over there. That's one more. There we go, last stretch. I just like that there's like this spiked wall here, and it's kind of the only time it appears in this game, or any kind of section or level that appears like that. Okay, so VF3 came out in '96. And yeah, Virtua Fighter was like kind of one of their big things for going on for Sega that was not Sonic the Hedgehog. Despite the fact that they kind of didn't have a good way to just keep Sonic going. Because Sonic Team seemed like they were just done and wanted to move on to make other stuff. But it could also just be a case of, like, they just wanted to get something that would eventually become Sonic Adventure going, and the Saturn wasn't going to pull it off. So in the meantime, they just started making stuff like Knights and Burning Rangers, because they wanted to get into that space of making 3D games, which was a necessity. This has always been the most annoying boss for me. Oh boy. So yeah, the arms have a huge hitbox that are really hard to dodge. And if you get up here, you can hit him, he'll start going down. You get up, you can hit him that way, get up there. And it just makes him go through those phases very quickly if you just hit him at the right spot. And if you get a good rhythm going, then there you are. Let's see. I think there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 regular zones left now? Elemental P. I just like that name. But yeah, thanks to those who've been sticking it out, and for those who are just joining, I need to get used to doing that more often, I suppose, but I know it's called the Saturn Potluck, but I think we're just going to be playing 3D Blast for the rest of the stream. Which reminds me, I should probably change that, huh? Where's that at? Because that's always the thing of, like, because I like doing these variety streams, because it lets me kind of crunch through these games. But if you don't list the right game on Twitch, or, oh, excuse me, or whatever, then they'll kind of penalize your channel. It's not just for show. And yes, it is time for Mega Man 8, which, again, I don't have Mega Man 8 on this. I have Mega Man 8 on, like, every other console, somehow. Like, I was looking at prices for that, and it seems like now the American collectors are starting to just try to snatch up all the Saturn copies of Mega Man 8, and X4, and X3, because Capcom has basically made it apparent that the Saturn version doesn't really exist anymore. So no more Cutman or Woodman. The Saturn version in Japan for Mega Man 8 is at least somewhat justifiable in its price. Although, sort of, I say, because it is still like 60 bucks. If you were to go through like an American eBay, like, you know, some yuts like me. Oh yeah, I don't know if anybody ever noticed, but those glacial spikes you can spin through. They do kind of try to teach you to do that through these those small archways. Saturn X3 I know is not good, but it's still among like the different the CD versions of X3. Also, Mega Man X3 is also not that great. I did get X3 on the PC, though, because it's like, that's the only CD-based version of the game that came out in America. Oh, it's this level, I forgot. I think I'm gonna be quiet so I can special stage this. Oh boy. I'm missing all those rings. I'm getting way too much height. I think those spirals are added into the Retro Engine version of Sonic 2. Because of course, Taxman would do something like that. But like no other Sonic 2 special stage has that, or any other game that uses this similar format, like Sonic 4 Episode 2. Oh. Oh my god. Ah! That works. Luckily, this is nearly over. Although I do like that starry background. Look at that. Or Stealth. Yeah, definitely can't forget him. I did see prices for X4 on Saturn. Like loose copies for America are around like 40 to 60 bucks. And I'm kind of thinking about getting that, although I don't know. Hey, I got all the emeralds. Like 3 of them are blue for some reason. Like Mega Man. You know, the other blue bomber. Which one's a blue bomber? Mega Man or Sonic? But yeah, like X4, I think, like I think X1 is my favorite 2D Mega Man game. Definitely Mega Man X. But X4 is definitely not far behind from that. Right, I'm missing one more. I feel like one of these I was supposed to be able to like jump through real quick about going back to 3D Blast here. I thought you could like jump through one of these frozen lakes and it would get you to like a secret area. I can't remember if that's here or not. Maverick Hunter X, but that's just Mega Man X. Oh, right. I like how it gives you that shield, but then you're forced into this section. I'm hitting these buttons, and it's not doing anything. Still hitting buttons. Doesn't matter. So I'm back out, and I lost my shield. Cool. There we go. There we go. I think Tails is down there, but I'm kind of not wanting to bother with that anymore. Oh yeah, so this rabbit is just like one of those bees. Oh, no, he's like the chaser robot. He's going after me every time I'm next to him. Whoa, hold on. You need those for those medals. Which I got 11, apparently. I haven't played the full version of Mega Man 11, unfortunately. I played Mega Man 11 at E3. Also, thanks for that follow. It also reminds me, I have these overlays. I completely forgot about them. So if there's any overlays that appear on the top, that's from the YouTube channel. I have no idea if that's working right. I think it is working. But the bottom ones are for Twitch, specifically. Learning how this streaming stuff works. But yeah, I played Mega Man 11 at E3. I enjoyed it. It plays like a Mega Man game. Like, it's not really much more, especially compared to something like Sonic Mania, which, at least in comparison, I think Mega Man 11 does have the upper hand of having entirely original levels and, you know, Maverick Hunters, Robot Masters. There it is! Oh my god, I forgot about that one, but it just took me back here. So it's not that useful. No, don't go back. But yeah, like, I do like the speed up, the slowdown stuff, the time stopping stuff that makes it a little easier for people who haven't played a Mega Man game in a decade. Because obviously there's like Mega Man 9 and 10, but I was kind of bothered by the fact that it's just using the NES art style, and then thankfully they went with the 3D 2.5D artwork, which scales up pretty nicely in 4K, so I've heard. How do the boss weapons work? I don't remember too much of like how the boss weapons work. I don't even remember if I got to try one during that E3 demo. Because there's like the one where it like has like the 4 blocks that you can kind of summon and then drop down. That's all I remember. I purposely have been kind of avoiding Mega Man 11 stuff because I want to play that game for myself. And, you know, not get spoiled of like, you know, what weapon works with who. Oh, is this, you can kind of see the tile set stuff oddities here, because there's like this square block when it just looks like it's just icicles frozen over the side of the cliff there. Also, if you go at a 45-degree angle, you can bounce your way through all that. Ah, he's not spinning. Again, if you go too slow, he's not going to do it. Also, the only time that these side springs appear in a game in 3D Blast ever is just this zone. That one tried to hide behind the scenery. Of course, if y'all want to like spoil Mega Man 11 in here or something like that, I guess be courteous of the other viewers. But I mean, y'all can talk about it; it's fine. I've seen some of the stuff. Like mostly, the most I've seen of it was like footage on Digital Foundry, where John's talking about like the different versions of the game. Oh, come on. Oh, no, 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 no. I want these rings, Tails. Also, there's another layering problem here. That's weird. Yeah, it's kind of at this point where it's like these enemies, I feel like, are getting easier. You do have like these massive conveyor belts that you have to deal with, and of course in Saturn you have this this fog effect going on. Oh no. But then there's that penguin that goes back and forth. The rabbit that only chases you. And then that's kind of it. And it doesn't even matter because you can just... Oh, and this snowball... Snowman here who freezes the flicky until you let him out. Somehow my flicky chain hit that rabbit. There we go. Right. We're just about out of this snow gimmick here. Alright, I'm going to remember to show off this one thing, because I keep forgetting to do it every time I jump at a boss level. Of course, after this is the volcano section. Let's see. Alright, you pause the game, you just get this picture of Robotnik holding a sign, which is kind of cool. Also, check out that color banding going on the sign. Yeah. Unfortunately, this boss is going to be slow, because that's just how it be. Oh. Wait. How many? Oh, it might just been... Oh, okay, I thought I hit him like twice or something like that, which... I don't think you can speed this fight up that much. You can break those. Ah, get off me. Okay. I do think it is kind of crap, well, I had a thought there. Oh my god, I don't know what I was thinking about, but it's something to do with the boss. Oh well. Oh, the fact that it is kind of hard to keep track of the boss when you can't really see where it's at. Which that's kind of nice thing about the director's cut is that it always centers the camera on a point between Sonic and Robotnik so that you can keep track of where you are and you don't have to worry about extending the camera out to wherever. Because at least in most of the boss levels, there's not any serious hazards you need to worry about. And if we get to a certain point, we might see why the camera might actually be breaking the game in certain aspects. Also, looks like this game has the shadow layering problem that the Mega Drive version has. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, I guess, at least in this case here, it helps me show off the fact that the flickies will fly over the lava in case, you do lose them around there. Oh yeah, there was that talk of, like, doing Team Sonic Racing. I think Jason brought up, like, why don't we do something like that again? We actually want to do a community day with SRB2 Kart, which has been a great Sonic fan game. He's caught in here. That's death. But yeah, SRB2 Kart, which is straight up just Mario Kart, but it's got Sonic characters in it. And of course, you can make your own characters, and there's like been like tons of like different characters, mostly like from anime and stuff like that, which makes it the Anime Rally sequel I never got to make. Damn it. But it plays with the 16 players, 4-player split screen, and you can bring the 4 players with you on the over the network, either through LAN or online. Like, it's been a really impressive piece of work, and it actually made me care about SRB2 for the first time in 15 years. There's our buddy Knuckles. Hate to interrupt this heroic moment in the musical score, but I just want to run through all that lava so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, we're trying to kind of work out some of the logistics of that stuff. Mainly it's just a case of like, boy, we want to get our stuff done, and we need time to actually set up something. Oh, that Flicky's not turning. That's crap. He's floating over the lava, but he won't turn to actually meet up with me. I might actually do a test stream of SRB2 Kart, just to see how well the network does while playing the game. Right, I lost that other shield, so this will have to do. Ah! Is there anything here? No, just this. Oh, I thought there was a medal up there. Oh yeah, and of course there's tails over there if I went the other way around, but we're not doing special stages anymore. I sound familiar. Probably. I know I'm in the SRB2 Kart Discord, but I don't really do much in there. It's mostly just to kind of keep track of the community. Because even if we don't really do a whole lot on the front page, which we all feel bad about, it's at least a way for us to kind of keep tabs on the goings-on. Oh, Flicky, please. I hear the front page of Retro is a sleeper hit. But also, it's like, I don't know if I want to put something like this on the front page, because it's like, hey, watch me play through Sonic 3D Blast, but, I mean, obviously other people do it. But I don't want to, like, litter the front page of, like, here's part 10 of our playthrough of this and that, but it's like, that's not really exciting. It's just, you're just playing through this friggin' game. I mean, bottom line, if we didn't have, like, life commitments, we would be doing this stuff way more often. Also, this wall's a trick. You can totally jump over here. Anyway, this music track's nearly done, so I'm just gonna do that. But yeah, there was like a period of time where I did try to do like, here, we're just gonna kind of throw these games together and talk about them, or at least just play through these Sega games. Some games are okay, others not so much. Obviously, if it has anything to do with Sonic the Hedgehog, it does really well. But if it's like Valkyria Chronicles 2 on the PSP or Crush on PSP, it's nothing really doing there, unfortunately. Oh, re-release with the anime rally with the music? I don't remember if I put in a zip that has like all the music tracks in it. I can't. Oh my god, it's been that long, and I can't remember portions of my game anymore that I worked on. Which, that's a weird feeling to have. Yeah, I feel like the retro Twitter needs more stuff going on. I had access to it at one point, but then I kind of lost it. And then, of course, there was that period of time where, for some stupid reason... Oh, yeah. The only medal in the game that's just sitting on the floor. The only one in this entire game. Anyway, like, there was a time where, like, somebody hijacked the retro URL and was leading people to a malicious website, which... God, that sucked. Thankfully, it seems like that's been taken care of. And of course, you know, if anybody ever does run into that, you know, be sure to sound off to us to let us know. But it really sucks when something bad happens to the WordPress or the front page, or somebody's just hijacking the website just to be a dick. There's a hole here somewhere. It's this one. I'll leave that there. So it does make it makes it a little harder to kind of promote things when stuff goes wrong. Especially if it's like, hey, we just came back from E3, we need to do all these, like, hands-on impressions and stuff like that, and then we have no front page to work with, so I was like, crap, what do we do now? So that's kind of why I figure if it's like a general playthrough like this, the best way for it... oh, Star Wars man's following us. Thank you. May 4th be with you. I was trying to think of, like, is there any way that we could do Star Wars stuff? And the only Star Wars Sega game I have is the 32X arcade port. And even then, that would not be a very long stream. And most of the Sega-based Star Wars stuff is not terrific. Like, Star Wars Racer is cool, but it's not the Sega arcade Star Wars Racer game, which people confuse a lot. And it baffles me. Like, folks, Dreamcast Star Wars Racer is not Sega's arcade racing game. It has nothing to do with that. And then, of course, you know, Sega never got anything along the lines of, like, Rogue Squadron or, not even, like, Shadows of the Empire. Like, even, the PlayStation got a port of Dark Forces. And then there was no Dark Forces 2 port for consoles. And then Jedi Outcast and then Jedi Knight did get console ports for, like, consoles of that generation. Oh, also, look at that. You can see our good buddy Sonic underneath that lava. I don't know if that's intentional. Oh, get in there. Is there any dedicated Discord where you can check out? Well, there's always the Sonic Retro Discord. That's pretty much going to be, like, the hotspot for, like, the goings-on for Retro if you're not a member of the message board. Come hang out. We're there. We party. I'm trying to figure out if there might be a way to justify a SEGA Channel Retro Discord. There is one, but it's stuck to invite only at this point. Alright. So there's the end. But I've still got 2 squiggly heads out of three birds. Which, I think that's kind of a thing that I could never figure out for the longest time. Like, I think it's just because of, like, the composite video on the Genesis, but I could never figure out what those icons really meant in the corner. Like, now, obviously, they're birds, but then when it's, like, you gotta find the 5 badniks to free the flickies from, you can't tell what that's supposed to be, and it just looks... I think it's supposed to be those cone enemies from the first zone. But yeah, pretty much the only other way you could tell if there's gonna be any other streams is just, I guess, subscribe to the channel. You can take your pick of either Twitch or Discord, or not Discord, Twitch or YouTube. Because I've been feeling guilty of the fact that the YouTube has been gaining subscribers since, and it's somehow nearing 2,000, and I haven't really done much of anything. Nice shot. Oh man, this level's always been the most annoying to me. Because you gotta line up with these pipes, and you gotta make sure you don't get hit by the steam or the fire that chases you around. And if you get all those rings, you got nothing to protect you. Like that. But it's like you can get at least 2 or 3 hits in before you have to, like, run around and look out for all the fire. And the lava and the smoke and all that. But yeah, like, I definitely appreciate the people that have been checking out the video channels when not much of anything has been going on. Oh boy. There we go. That's a good pattern. That's probably one where it's really difficult to keep an eye on where the boss is, and also the camera is always moving around, which makes it really hard to line up on those pipes. Because this is the only... That was like the only part of the game where you have to do precision platforming. And I think Traveler's Tales kind of noticed, like, hey, this 3D perspective stuff's kind of hard to work with, so I guess we'll kind of throw the players a bone. Because, like, this is the last level. There's no bottom pits in this game at all. In fact, there's not really any place you can go to where it's inescapable. And I think that's a pretty good, conscious decision to just give the player that sense of agency, which is kind of funny, because, like, every other Sonic game does give you, like, bottomless pits and inescapable pits. So that's why I can also understand why people prefer this game over most of the other Sonics. Oh, come on. And of course they give me the worst flickies to deal with. Luckily, if you scroll that off camera, it won't attack you. And of course, abusing the fact that, hey, we can't really do much about speed, so we'll just give them the illusion that they're doing something meaningful. Oh, game, come on. Oh, isn't this where if you hit the bumpers, it sounds like you're hitting the birds? Yeah, that. I don't know why it does that. Also, I need to keep on moving. Oh, you shot the birds. Like, are there birds trapped in there, or is just the sound font just going nuts? Alright. Also, oh man, like, because I know that's like kind of the pet peeve of platformers is like if you try to go down a slope like this, look at them pop. That's kind of not great. And it's like the game doesn't really have a way to latch Sonic onto the surface, but it knows that Sonic is you know, changing heights. And I think that's like, because I've been working on, like I said, something that's kind of similar to this. And one of the things I noticed was, notice how he pops off when he's going down a slope. That's not terrific. But to do something that would make it so that you could, like, just stick to the surface and still go down a slope and like this isometric perspective, that's a ton more work, and you kind of have to ask if like it's worth it to do that extra work. And it looks like for Traveler's Tales, they didn't even do it. So, all right, right on. Oh yeah, I can't remember if I think, yeah, Tails and Knuckles stop appearing in the game at this point. So if you didn't get the emeralds, you're kind of screwed at this point. But you can still at least make it to the last boss from Panic Puppet. Or is this Panic Puppet? I don't remember. Because here we are in Act 2 of... Can't remember. Gene Gadget. Gene? I hope you like dance music in your Sonic. Oh, it's the mouse that aggroes you. So I guess that's the one thing that you kind of look out for when you see how they made these games back in the day. Because there's maybe 5 different types of enemies, and they just reskin them depending on which zone that you're in. The only one that's not here is that crab that you saw in like those Game Hut videos that were in like pre-release versions of 3D Blast that were cut out for some reason. There didn't seem to be an exact reason as to why it was cut. Because it was the only enemy that would like slide left and right. But then again, you do have the crocodile that just goes back and forth, and that might be why it was cut out, because it's like, we need to like make room for the cartridge space, so we have an enemy that moves back and forth, but then there's like this enemy that moves side to side. Well, the back and forth enemy does the same thing. It's just moving back and forth. Reading the chat. But yeah, I think if you want to go to the Retro Discord, you would need to go to, I believe it's in the forums. I forget where, but it should be accessible to people even if you're not like a message board member, so feel free to hop over there. And you know what? I should have put this stream in the announcements, but I was like, I don't know. I put it in the general chat. Oh, that's it. Oh well. I'll figure out this advertising, as they call it. I don't remember where this last one is. There's this one, but it just takes you here, and you can just jump down. And no, you can't get in between to get to that half pipe there. Oh, I know where it is. It is in that one section. Ah! That's not a good spot to lose these guys, though. Hey, y'all. Okay. Am I missing something here? Yeah, I just fell down there. Okay. So I'm being pushed. I'm being stopped by an invisible block. Also, pretty clever that the game will push the flickies up there. What's going on, AS, in the YouTube? Remake of Sonic Labyrinth. I don't think Labyrinth had much of anything to do with 3D Blast. I mean, it's got the isometric perspective, but I have a feeling that Labyrinth was nothing more than just kind of a game that was supposed to be like a puzzle platformer, and then they just decided to put Sonic in there. Because, by the way, Sonic's our mascot. I guess we could do something with him. Oh, ah. Oh, man. He's not even high enough to get up there, and then when you do get high enough... Oh, man. Oh, boy. Well, that's great. I found the exit, but I'm not ready to go yet. Huh. Good shot. Ah. Just get up there. Okay. Let's see. Oh boy. Well, isn't that nice? They're giving you shortcuts because they know it's like, alright, you're near the end of the game. Oh yeah, I would have to. Yeah, so anybody that joins in the Retro Discord, you do have to go through a quick verification before you can chat. But I'm busy doing this, so you know anybody that jumps in, I'll look into giving you the hookup. Yeah, that's that dang dance music. We're near the end of the game. It's just one more zone and then 2 bosses after this one. Gene! Okay. Oh, right. As long as you hover over here, it's not too hard to get the boss, but then if this happens, and if you're silly like me, you took up all the rings, so you have no protections. Also, even though the conveyor belt is going down left, you can go at angle. You just go backwards no matter what direction you're facing, and it's not correct. Ah! I do think it was worth it for the time, just because, like, you know, you have to have something for the Saturn. Especially when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog, which was, like, one of their biggest money makers, and then they had, like, next to nothing to show for it. Okay. Or at least they had stuff to show for it, but it's like, you know, we're getting into this 3D business. We know everybody wants Sonic to be in 3D and all that, but, you know, we don't have that many games out. Because otherwise, you would have just had Sonic Jam and Sonic R. And then not much else after that. Oh, wow. Huh. That's a pretty good cheat. Until that happens. Whoa! You just wedge yourself that way, and then he just stays there. Whoops. And the more damage this boss takes, the more of these panels you have to jump over. Luckily, that's the end. Alright. We're getting down to the last zone and the last boss. Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's not like... I'm trying to think. Like, this is like 96? Like, obviously, compared to Super Mario 64, this is just... whatever. But if you really like Sonic... it's still not terrific, but it's something. And like I said, there's no other original Sonic platformer on the Saturn. It's just this. Pardon me. I apologize for these gross noises. There we go. Okay, so I think for this level... Yeah, okay, so this level... This is the last level where we have to collect flickies in. And the funny thing is, they're not in any of these robots, so we can kind of ignore them. But we can't ignore the fact that they are kind of all over the place. Here's number 2. There we go. And by that I mean, haha, fooled you? Ah, there's another one. Oh, I went through the platform. Ah. Oh. Man, these platforms, like... I remember this being also a real problem with the Mega Drive version, and it was kind of a big deal that John fixed this part of the game as well. There we go. Also, my ears are starting to hurt because I've had this headset on for nearly 2 hours. Wait, am I missing one? I am. You again. That was a good dink. Oh, can I not go back? Nope. Don't die, don't die, don't die! Okay, so this is back at the beginning, so I just do this then. Oh yeah, so there's like 2 different versions of the PC version of Sonic R. I think the latter has like a better version of DirectX support, or DirectX 9 support. Whereas the original just had the Direct Draw and the Direct 3D support. I mean, the only real issue that the PC port has is the lighting that they added to textures, which was probably done through Gorod shading, or not Gorod. I think it's vertex lighting, which is meaning you're just changing the colors of the textures on around the vertices of the basically where the lines meet. I don't know where to take these birds right now. Okay, I don't want to go there. So that must mean I need to go here. Okay. And I think the reason it doesn't have that kind of lighting effect going on is just simply because there's not really a good way for them to get that replicated, since the way that Direct 3D rendered stuff is quite different. Hey. Right, so no more flickies, no more collecting those things. I'm also getting tired and hungry. I want to get this game done already. But we're already near the end. Oh, not at it. We're near the end. Whoa. But yeah, you'll notice in the corner, no more flickies. So it is just a straight run through the level. But then you also get to notice stuff that's going on in the background here. Also, there's that dip in the platform there. And bust that gut. Oh, I don't think it's supposed to be that object, but it's stopping me from going that way. But yeah, that's neat. There's a giant Robotnik that's kind of just standing in the middle of the room. And... oh boy. Right, so I'm on a slanted platform here, but I can't go that way. Oh boy, and I don't want to be flattened. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, this level's not so bad once you realize you can just fly past everything. Like, it doesn't matter. Whew. Oh boy. And then that also weirds me out. Can't get past these platforms, although it's just somehow blocking you off. Or is this grosser? I don't know, you be the judge. See, no flicky bonus. Alright. I mean, it would probably be better if I were to, like, demonstrate how these bosses work and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mean, you can kind of go see that elsewhere if you want to see, like... I don't even know if you can even see that. I don't know if people do, like, a proper playthrough, whatever that means, of these, of this version of the game. But yeah, you basically just want to bop the back of these arms. And if you hang out in that area, he'll just start shooting at you. So you want to just trick him and not get hit by the arm. Right, so that's the end of that arm. Ugh. Come on. We have all these sound channels, and we're gonna use them, damn it. Oh, man. Oh, right. So, this part, it shoots the fire that chases you. But, as long as you just beat it to the other side, the fire will never touch you. And of course, it's not that hard to ward off anyway. I was jumping at it, game. Come on. So if you hit it fast enough, it won't shoot anything. But if you don't make it on time, you can just scroll the bullets off camera and they will kind of disappear. Oh boy. And if it gets out of control like this, well, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, wait. I guess I was wrong. I guess those bullets do still stay in the world. Even if it's scrolled off screen. Now we get a punishment by these silly load times. Oh well. But then once you get the pattern down, this boss is pretty easy. Come on. Come on. Oh, man. Yeah, now I gotta start thinking about other Saturn games I want to try to play through on here. Although, I do also want to try to see if I can play Sonic 3 Air. And maybe I'll do, like, a proper Sonic 3 playthrough with that. Because I've only ever really played through, like, the beginning portion of Sonic 3. And I think I did Sonic... Yeah, it was just Sonic 3, actually. I don't think I've ever really played Sonic and Knuckles, but... You know, why would you play either version by itself? That's a crime. Alright. I don't know what happened the last time, but this is much better. I guess... okay, so I'm noticing these these notches of shadows on where the connectors are. And that's a pretty good indication of where to stand. Last one. Oh. Sorry about that chair. I was hoping I could get rid of this thing already. I'm doing this dirty because I want to get done with this game already. We're near the end. Here comes the last boss. So long as you've obtained all 7 emeralds. Also, you get the sick scrolling background. That's like 3 layers. So yeah, that timer means you better move it, or the game's just gonna knock you out. You lose a life, and you gotta start over. Uh-oh. I jumped. Come on, game. Don't give me that. Boris. Oh yeah, I also noticed that the rings are kind of underneath the, these transparency, just transparent panels. Like you notice that one on the far right there doesn't quite it looks not quite the same. Oh well. Oh boy. What am I doing? Oh, okay. Oh. Not yet, huh? Whoa. But yeah, it's basically you just go from one section to another. And then take a shot at him before he leaves. Oh, let's see if we can do that one trick I was thinking of. This is where he shoots at you. Hello? Ah! That sucks. Boo. Oh, right. Okay, so I think I misremember what the cheat stuff does. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, cheat my way through the fight, but I'm not getting a game over at this point. Because, come on. What was that? It's like this game knows. Like, sometimes that collision just doesn't want to take. Alright, alright. Yeah, as soon as you hit him there, that flame chaser disappears. no, 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 no. Boo. Come on. Let's finish this already. Can't believe Robotnik's winning by just making Sonic bored. I do like that background. I'm surprised there's not really that many sections of the game where it's scrolling. Oh, come on. At least it'll let me do that. Hey, what's this here? Now it'll let me on. It wouldn't let me move on to it earlier. Eggman, look, the music's fading out. Even the musicians are getting bored. Just stop. I don't know. On one hand, this section of the game is kind of neat. But it's mostly just dodge stuff, and then he just lets you take a pot shot at him. Also, I don't remember how many times you go around, because you don't even go through these phases. Like, you don't go through them, like, twice, exactly. Well, you go through it twice, but it's like, is it a full 2 times? I don't think so. I don't remember. Okay. I don't get bored. Okay. Yeah, it's just been that long since I've last played this game. Especially getting to this boss. Ugh. This one's like the easiest one. You just run away. So technically this should be the last one here, yeah? Yes, I'm cheesing this fight and I don't care. What? That went right through him. It's probably not even the best place to be in. Alright, fine. It was 2. I know he's blowing up with him. In case you couldn't tell, that was the final boss. I always think it's weird when a game fully acknowledges a boss. That be it. And I couldn't have done it without y'all. Seriously, I couldn't. The game wouldn't let me. Doesn't that just sound like it's from, like, Sega All-Stars? That music? Since that is, one of the later Sega games that, Richard Jakes worked on. And now Love Song. This one goes out to somebody. Kind of funny that in the Genesis game, Sonic's talking in through text, but he's still talking, and yet they didn't bother to like give him a voice or any kind of audio or anything like that for the Saturn version. How about I just do this? Sonic, 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 you can go now. What are you pointing at? Sonic, hey, come back. Oh, he's pointing at the end. The end of the stream. Ho ho! Look how well that works out. Yeah, I forget who sings this song. I like it too, but you know, it definitely got even crazier and better. I'd say it got better. It got better with Sonic R, but uh, yeah, no, I thanks for hanging out, everybody that came to watch the stream. Um, Thanks to the Duck Corporation for this sick FMV. Because otherwise, FMV on the Saturn is really terrible, especially without like the MPEG card on certain games. All right, but yeah, that was a good stream. I definitely appreciate everybody coming out to watch this. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'll try to see if I can get more Saturn games for the next time I do this, and maybe have it more consistent. Sunday afternoon seems like a pretty decent time to do a live stream. But yeah, we'll figure out what we're gonna do next time. But otherwise, thanks for watching. I'm gonna throw out my my graphic. Well, it's not quite my graphic. Anyway, go follow the channel on whatever streaming service you're running this on. Go to Sonic Retro, SEGA Retro, or SEGAbits, and maybe check out the Discord I was talking about, and that'll probably be another way to check out the streams if you want to come hang out. Otherwise, I'll see y'all later. This is Bartman3010. Oh yeah, follow me on Twitter, at Bartman3010 if you don't already. And that's another way that you can kind of follow me that way to see if when another stream's gonna happen. But anyway, I'm just gonna let this play out and see y'all later.